My name's Deborah Boldt, and I'm a special ed teacher at Greene County Schools. And I wanted to talk about accommodations and what's appropriate. Imagine being in high school or junior high and your teacher hands you your test and say, you need to go to the resource room and have somebody read this to you, not knowing that you can use technology to help you already in reading that test. Right now, 33% of fourth graders and 24% of eighth graders are below grade level reading. That is a sizable amount of percentage of students that can't read at grade level. And right now, 75% to 90% of people that have learning disabilities also have learning in reading areas of disabilities. So Albert Einstein said, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Well, there was an opportunity missed without using technology. And then there's more. If students do not have the right accommodations, they don't perform as well. They don't use their accommodations because they're the wrong accommodations, so they become reluctant. And then parents and teachers don't always agree on accommodations because they are subjective. Research suggests that accommodations, if used appropriately, can help students with disabilities. The key is appropriately, and how are those determined to make sure that they are appropriate for the students. As a teacher in my early years, I was automatically told, put down that the student will have the test read aloud by another adult. It was just automatic. We all did it. We all wanted to be compliant. So we thought that was best practice, but really was it best practice? Best practice really is case by case. It's individualized. It should be based on the student. It should not be the same for all students. Then we really aren't doing justice for that student. It should be based on a student's characteristics and not their disability. So really, have we made progress? Well, No Child Left Behind kind of pushed for progress. It made us all think about, if the scores weren't high, were we doing our jobs right, as Ryan was touching on earlier about Nickel B. But just as student progress was being pushed, so was IDEA. The amendment was done in 2004, and it stated that all students with disabilities must be able to be in general ed and also taking standard and district-wide assessments with appropriate accommodations. So that's when PAR was born. PAR stands for Protocol and Accommodations in Reading, and it was created by Dr. DeCosta and Linda Wilson. The two together worked to create the Protocol and Accommodations in Reading. And it is a screening tool, not a diagnostic assessment, and it was designed to help make informed decisions about appropriate reading accommodations. It helped students that had documented disabilities. It also helped students that were on the Tier 2 and Tier 3 of the multi-tiered support system. And it also just helped ESL or English language learners as well, and any student with reading difficulties. If they are not able to be fluent, but they can comprehend, PAR could be a good tool for them. The reasoning behind PAR was to examine the effectiveness of accommodations, to make sure that they're the right accommodations for the students, and also be able to allow them to access the curriculum. And it's not designed for to identify the reading ability or for identifying certain reading interventions. You can upload the information from the Doc Johnson site, which I've attached here. And you just need a computer, you need a timer, you need a Likert scale, and you also need the reading materials. I was trained on PAR in January, and from January of this year to May, I completed 15 PARs on students. It was simple. We had to have the students read at their independent level. If you didn't know their independent level, we always went a grade or two below to make sure that they are successful at that level. 2, an adult reader. When I read in my normal voice. I read with expression. 3, using a text reader, the Read Write Google. They had a chance to choose a male or a female voice, and they also had a chance to speed up the voice if they needed, or slow it down if they needed. It could be done in 15 minutes for one passage, or it could be done in 45 minutes total, or it could be done over 2 to 3 sessions. I always did my screening in at least one session. If needed, I did it in 2 sessions, but I wanted them to be successful at it. Then the students rate. How did you like it when you read independently? How did you like it when I read to you? How did you like it when the text reader read to you? After that, they answered questions. So when we think about their plan, shouldn't it be about them? So then I found out there was UPAR. UPAR stands for Universal PAR. I was trained on the free PAR because you can access everything off of there. But the UPAR does come with a cost. But I almost liked it better because you could do it from any web device that is available and hooked up to the internet. It could be done up to 30 students in one session. And the graph that shows right there, you can get automatic information based on where the student is at their independent level with an adult reader and a text reader. That is automatic information. That is hard, concrete data that can help support what works best for a student. And shouldn't we be doing that? And no staff training is needed for this. Teachers understand more how to accommodate than to modify. Although the limitations of the sample size is small, this picture kind of showed me a lot of information. If you're using appropriate accommodations, 4 got to grade level, 2 exceeded above the grade level, and 3 kind of were a status. They stayed where they were and maybe not had a benefit, might not have been the best fit for them. So when we look at after the screening and what we could do, we want to identify appropriate accommodations for students. We want to make sure that the student is helping design what works best for them, not just us telling them what works. And also the availability for resources. That way we have things ready for them that they need right away. And any PD for staff professional development. If teachers need trained, they need trained now. Although the PAR was implemented a long time ago, I just now got trained this year. I could have used this a long time ago. It needs to be immediately and needs to be done soon. And then once you get the PAR screening done or any other things that you need for making it appropriate for the students, you can help families at home. And that's what we need to do, is work with students at home as well. So when you think about this and what I talked about today, let's turn it from us, the teachers, to them, the students. And that's really what our purpose is here, to make sure that we make it better for them and appropriate for them. Thank you.